At WMAR 2 News, we are making a commitment to you that we will be the voice of veterans right here in Maryland. From this day forward, we are going to share the stories, the triumphs, and the help that veterans through troubled times. Tonight, WMAR 2 News' Aaron McPherson introduces us to a World War II veteran. His name, Vernon Foster. You're going to learn how this Baltimore County farmer found himself right there on the front line.
It all started on a Baltimore County farm where Vernon Foster grew up. A farmer who just wanted to teach, but became a World War II veteran.
I better tell you how I got into it anyway.
13 years in the military, all started from a textbook. Foster was studying farming and agriculture at the University of Maryland when they told him he needed to take 2 years of military instruction. He wound up taking 4, graduating as a second lieutenant. Shortly after, Pearl Harbor happened, so Foster was ordered to report to Fort Knox and eventually to Europe. A 26-year-old Army officer, a commander of 5 tanks with a crew in each.
The tank commander and all the tanks stand there with their half their body out, or maybe only their head out.
He led the group through many obstacles, which started as soon as their ship landed on foreign soil.
There were dead soldiers laying all over the fields. And when we were moving toward that town, the guys that were handling my tanks all stopped.
Stopped only for a moment.
But we had to move over top of them. That's something that happened more than one time when we had to take a certain town and there are dead people laying around. You have to keep going. You don't have any excuses. You just have orders to go.
With all the deaths surrounding him, only 3 lives really hit home for Foster.
When my top sergeant was killed and 2 other boys were badly injured, that's the only day during the war that I cried. I cried that day.
A tough day, but he kept moving.
I just couldn't accept that day.
The fight continued from November to November for Foster's entire 26th year of his life.
We had a pretty good battle going. we were always shooting at something.
Many of the work by the cover of the night.
Nighttime doesn't mean much. It's dark, that's all.
Now, at 100 years old, he looks through pictures.
Of course, I can recall all the things that we did.
Foster described only one major scare when German troops fired directly at him.
There was a piece about 3/4 of an inch around. It landed about 6 inches from my ear, and it buried itself in the mortar or in the steel in my tank. Now, if that thing had been a foot way this way, it would have killed me instantly, but it didn't.
Alive but hurt, shrapnel in his face and chest.
And the people in the aid station picked all the pieces out except this eye, and they put a big patch over my eye and said, well, you better take a couple days rest. You don't need to go back fighting again. You better take a couple days off. So I said, well, thank you, goodbye. And I went right back to my tank.
The piece in his eye still there today.
They said it wouldn't do any harm unless I tried to take it out. And if I took it out, I'd be blind. So I said, I'll let it stay there.
After his service, Foster came home, bought a farm right next to the one he grew up on, and started a family with his wife. They had 3 boys and a girl. Then he started building and turned this into this, a place he spent the next several decades. Foster is now living in a nursing home, so his youngest son now takes care of the family farm, but he still gets to visit regularly. Foster will be 101 years old next month.
And Mr. Foster was just awarded the Legion of Honor this past spring in D.C. at the French Embassy for his help in liberating France from Germany in World War II. The Legion of Honor is the highest award the French government gives out. We want to be your voice for veterans. If you have a story, an email idea, just hit us up on emails and story ideas at WMAR.com. The Voice of Veterans, we're your station.